Tap lands, man. Tap lands. Alright, his hand's much better. Let's keep this. I think I'm putting back basic island, and then I'm going to cycle the sandbar. We need to find not blue mana. Could maybe play Delta on turn 1. Oh, another just blue source. Get a Triome. The next turn goes cycle Fatal Push and cycle Sandbar. Try to find like green or black mana for Ura or Liliana. Why Sunken Hollow? Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon. Sunken Hollow is the filter land, right? Filtering swamp into mana that can cast Uro is really important. It also helps us with Liliana. It's also like a kind of a uniquely named land for Field of the Dead, which is something I usually find to be pretty good. I'm just going to discard Uro. Happy New Year, Shrimabito. Alright, that's a swamp. I think I'm just going to cycle my Sandbar now. Could find a discard spell, could find a different land we want to play. Could also just play the Sanctuary tapped. I think that is good. Doesn't mean we don't have push up, but if they play a creature we want to push, we could also just Liliana Edict. I would kind of prefer to not get Swamp off of Vista. Oh, they clean my Uro. Sure, it's fine. Okay, now I'm going to get Swamp off of Vista. Probably just discard the Fatal Push. You know, their deck does like discarding, but it does feel good to have a Liliana in play. They're missing land drops, so they're discarding a spell. Is this going to make a video? Probably, yeah. You can also watch the VOD, because the videos usually take like at least a week to come out. Lightning Skelemental, I don't think is stock in like these lists, but obviously like they're just not playing like the super stock red-black mid-range deck that's been going around. I think I'm going to Shock in the Tomb just so I make sure it doesn't get discarded. And then we probably go for... Oh, we have a discard out with Liliana. Although we don't have access to a Mystic Sanctuary. So I don't think we can combo next turn, but so we probably just get like the Uro, Loam, Sandbar, Field of the Dead pile. They can't cling to dust from their graveyard, but they could have another cling, I guess. It's kind of fine. They're probably bringing in Gargaroths, because I imagine my opponent's going to have a lot of graveyard hate. Kolaghan's Command, looks like. It's good, but it's also kind of fine. Alright, the pile is, I believe, Uro, Loam, Lonely Sandbar, and Field of the Dead. I feel like I always have a hard time finding the Sandbar for whatever reason. Where is it? Is it? Oh, I already cycled it. Okay. So we get to choose something else, I guess. Could choose Inquisition. And basically, whatever we choose to go into the graveyard. Could choose Radical Idea, kind of like that. Having access to a discard outlet. All right, while they tank, I'm gonna turn on my espresso maker. All right, they gave us Radical Idea plus Uro, which makes a lot of sense. Dredging the Loam. I have not hard cast Griselbrand today, but I think I have in the past with these decks. I play these kind of, these kind of piles pretty often, or somewhat often. So much value, the Loam. Against the discard deck, it's really tough for them to beat. Probably don't want to let them target the Loam with a cling, so I'll dredge it. No, I don't, I've only had to poop like twice ever during the stream. Maybe it's TMI. Might happen today though. Drank a lot of champagne last night. A little hungover. Will there be bets in future leagues for how many Bruna kills there will be? Let's do it now. Yeah, I think that's good. Will we break our record? Will we get 4 or more Bruna kills this league? This is game 1 of the league. I guess I will fetch first. We actually have Griselbrand in the graveyard. I just noticed that. So we should probably just throw Griselbrand at them, huh? This does mean that we're not triggering Field of the Dead, but yeah, probably should do it. Is there any way we can Bruna kill this turn? I don't think so. I don't think we have like the ability to discard. We did draw Bruna Colossification. So the predictions are live. Forgot to click OK. I feel kind of silly though now because it really looks like it's gonna happen. It's gonna draw 7 more, I suppose. Can only find another Uro. Did not find another Uro. We've already played our land. So I'll go ahead and smack him for 7. Go back up to 11 life. So we can play Liliana or Jace, right? That's it. I guess to flashback Goryo's Vengeance, we want to play Jace. Can also Loam, but Loam's just getting discarded anyways. Alright, so go to discard. Discard. Colossification, Bruna, land. Land. Second Jace, or another land. Probably just another land. I have to discard more? We have the Loam. Maybe discard the Loam. Could have maybe discarded Radical Idea. It's fine. We didn't find another Goryo's Vengeance, which kind of stinks. They unearth Lightning Skelemental. Huh. It's kind of fine. I think I'm gonna discard. I'm gonna discard Radical Idea plus Jace. They could have 2 Lightning Bolts actually. We'd be dead. If their hand is exactly 2 Lightning Bolts. Okay, it's not. Just gonna keep this, I think, as a discard outlet. Although, I guess what are we discarding? We have Bruna in the graveyard. We have this as a discard outlet. Okay. I've convinced myself. Well, I mean, if they don't have a Cling to Dust, we get them. In fact, we can respond to Cling to Dust now with a second copy of Goryo's Vengeance. Let me just play. I'll just play around 1 Lightning Bolt by not casting this Thoughtseize. And we beat a Cling to Dust, and the Bruna kill count goes up. I don't see the predictions in the chat, like the people predicted. Did something mess up? You predicted? Okay. Maybe my chat just lagged for a bit. Yeah, it shows. It shows. All the believers. Alright. Bruna kill count 4. On the day. First of the league. I have to get 3 more Bruna kills in order for the prediction to be met this league. And I think I am actually cutting the combo against Red-Black, who usually has a lot of graveyard hate. This is kind of the plan against a lot of graveyard hate, is you just get to bring in a lot of Gargaroths and have them be hard to deal with. Hopefully that plan is decent. I'm not sure that it is. They also probably are a Blood Moon deck, so we have Gust and access to Gust and Decay. Probably want to trim a Gifts and play like 2 Gusts. No, I mean I'm not gonna play the combo like just for the prediction thing, because I do think it's good to side it out, and I want to actually like test the deck. Like I do think a big part, like your plan is to side out the combo a lot of the time. We already got it once this match, anyways. Keep this. Then I should turn on the espresso real quick. Prismatic Vista, go. We draw Jace, Vryn's Prodigy. I'm just gonna play this swamp, be able to push a Dark Confidant or a Magmatic Channeler. Perfect. Does every version of this deck play Bob? Or does like the one that's been popping around just say no to Dark Confidant? Blood Moon would be bad, but potentially beatable. We play one of each basic. Unearth plus Kroxa is fine. Discarding Jace. Not sure about that one. So if we cycle Sandbar, that's 3 cards in the graveyard. Fetch with Delta, that's 4. And then this has to be the 5th one, right? Yeah, so we can flashback push and kill the Bob. Gonna get a Triome, loot. Not sure what we're discarding. Probably Uro. Chandler is the new hotness. Yeah, Chandler has looked pretty good when I've played against it recently. I've liked what I've seen. Alright, Spyro's pretty good here. Discarding Boil. Okay. They can Kroxa next turn, but we have Aether Gust for Kroxa. The Jace Plus also slows down their Spyro a bunch. Cannot escape Uro this turn, or next turn, I guess, unless we get another card in the yard, which we can do if we just minus Jace for no value. We probably just get to Aether Gust Kroxa this turn. Be bad, I guess, if they go like land, discard spell, escape Kroxa, if that's like exactly their 2 cards. Another Spyro. I'm gonna Gust. Yeah, I haven't seen any graveyard hate. That's true. It's possible we could bring the combo back in for game 3, but I kind of think it's more likely we're just not going to go to game 3. Oh, right, we can't minus since they're going to deal damage. Don't have a non-island to play, but I mean, if they spend their turn boiling and we get to untap with Gargaroth, it's not like we're 0% to win. I doubt they have too many answers to this. It's not one. Discard Dark Confidant and only had that card to discard. Discard spell? Cling to Dust would be, kind of awkward on the Uro, but if this is like discard spell, I'm feeling okay. Okay, so they can triple block if they want to, but they're going to lose most of their board. And we get to escape Uro. So let me go ahead and plus on Season of Pyromancer. Attack and probably make a 3/3 here, actually. Like the 3/3 is pretty good on this board. And they can block with all of these to kill the Gargaroth if they want to. They decide not to. So now I will fetch up a basic forest and escape Uro. Definitely getting a non-island here. Could even consider not playing a land just to have like lands in my hand after a potential boil. kind of think that that's good. I mean, I don't know. If they spend their turn boiling, they lose. So never mind. I'll play the Grave tapped. Yeah, if they spend their turn boiling, like, we get to attack with all of these, and they're in such bad shape. They also might, if they flip Boil to Bob, it's also not good for them. They revealed Liliana of the Veil. Feels so good about making the Beast token now. Holy crap. They're escaping Kroxa. Kroxa and Uro evenly matched once again. Once again. Equal power level. Again, plus Jace on Kroxa. That way they just don't have like a 1-for-1 block off the Kroxa, which is kind of nice. Finally, we found a way to break the Titan Mirror. It's Jace Telepath Unbound. I seem pretty high on Gargaroth in Modern. Yeah, I am. I think it's really good in sideboard games where like decks slow down because people play a lot of reactive cards, and then you just cast a Gargaroth and your opponent has all these graveyard hate spells and no answers to Gargaroth in their deck. I think it's like mostly a sideboard card, but like a really good sideboard card though. Alright, is the Lonely Sandbar still in my deck? I think it's actually not. Yeah, it's not.
What's up?
I definitely want to get.
Wow,
I'm gifting 5 subs. It's so nice of you. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everybody. So maybe we just get like.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
I mean, any 2 spells we get are going to the graveyard, so maybe we could just get Radical Idea and then.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark
Another
Typhoon.
Gifts that we could maybe Sanctuary. Yeah, Bruna kill count 4. Which is pretty good, I think. I don't think it's necessarily the plan A, but it doesn't cost that very many cards at all to include in your deck, which is my favorite part, I think. Why Radical Idea? So one of your main gifts piles is...
Welcome, Spike.
Do you mean why Radical Idea here? I think that Radical Idea is just like kind of good in the graveyard and in hand. And if we're gifting for Loam, Field of the Dead, any 2 spells we Loam for in addition are just... They're just going to... I guess maybe I could have attacked with the Beast. Any 2 spells we wish for are going to the graveyard, so Radical Idea is like the only non-Uro card that gets value out of the graveyard right now. Because we cited out the Goryo's Vengeance package. But Radical Idea is in the deck in general, so that if you have gifts and not Goryo's Vengeance, you can gifts for Radical Idea, Goryo's Vengeance, Bruna Colossification, and then be able to Mystic Sanctuary your Goryo's Vengeance, and hopefully win with that. Gonna escape Uro again. Is that apple juice? It's espresso. Got an espresso maker from Christmas. Thank you, Mom. Yeah, sure thing. I'm always really excited to talk about, you know, the card choices in New Brews. It's like one of my favorite parts of the stream. Get to pretend like I am smart. Seems like a good matchup. Seems like an okay matchup. Okay, this hand's like very good if we just draw a black source immediately. We can turn to Griselbrand. We also have Radical Idea. I think just the lands are just so brutal with this draw. This hand's much better. But maybe a kind of a painful draw. Yeah, this is kind of the 2-card combo. This is much faster than the Radical Idea plan, where if you have both of these in your hand, you end of turn just put Colossification and Bruna in your graveyard, and then you Goryo's Vengeance them. And then you slow the game down a bit with discard spells while you wait for this to happen. Talk about an ambitious list. Yeah, this definitely is. I've been working on this list all week, and I think this list is decent. It's like at the very least the best I could come up with. Imagine Thoughtseizing this hand. It took a Thoughtseize, fair enough. Kind of, I don't know. I mean, it was probably correct for them to take Thoughtseize, in the context of their hand. But I'm a bit relieved to not have to fetch shock and play Thoughtseize. Get a Triome and just have good mana. It's black-green infect, awesome. Well, see if we survive to combo off. Isn't Thoughtseize the only pick they could take? I mean, it depends on what their deck is, what their draw is. I feel like Liliana is pretty reasonable. It's a pretty good draw too. Maybe I'm supposed to. No, if they play Phyrexian Crusader, we just push the Stinger, then Edict the Crusader. Would there be another version of this where instead of trying to be disruptive, you try to ramp out the combo a little faster? You can definitely build it that way and play Growth Spirals. The thing is, if you're playing Spirals, you probably want to be playing discard spells, and I'm not sure that you want to be playing discard spells. I'm just pushing the Stinger. Their deck honestly doesn't play that many pump spells compared to blue-green. A lot of times they're just kind of trying to nickel and dime you out. I think I'm gonna Edict. We need all 4 of these cards to try to combo off, and let's hope that they can't kill us. I guess they're pretty light on green mana. Should have pushed on your own turn to avoid Blossoming Defense. I don't think so because they have 2 threats. So that way, if they play Phyrexian whatever, the Crusader, then we could just push and then Edict, and then they can't protect. But if we push main phase, they have a second threat, and then they can have a big pump spell and really get us. But they have no pump spells, and so if they leave back an Inkmoth Nexus or a Plague Stinger to block Bruna, it's a problem. Although I guess we would just get Griselbrand, we would get Griselbrand plus Uro off the gifts, but I don't know how likely that's going to be. That they would ever leave something back to block here. What do you mean by make them put Colossification and Bruna in your graveyard? What would it pile where they have no choice? So, good question. I think a lot of people don't know this, but in Magic the Gathering, you can fail to find when you're searching. And so, if you only choose... So, even though Gifts Ungiven says choose 4 cards... Actually, I think it's been errated to say up to 4 cards, but you can choose just Bruna and Colossification, and they both go to the graveyard, and your opponent has no choice. Good question. Happy New Year's, Nixon. So Bruna, Colossification, and the Bruna kill count is already going to be up to 2. Yeah, the reason... So yeah, that's true. You cannot fail to find on Demonic Tutor, but any conditional tutor you can always fail to find. And because Gifts Ungiven says 4 cards with different names, and it's possible for you to have a deck that contains 4 cards with different names, or that does not contain 4 cards with different names, you can fail to find. So it's a really weird interaction, but good question for sure. Opponent has no cards in their hand. Bruna kill count 5. 2 more, and you guys win your prediction. It's casual. Hit you for 25. Who's the pump spell deck now, opponent? Playing Blossoming Defense? That's cute. Maybe try Colossification next time. Gargaroth actually seems kind of decent. Maybe a bit slow. I think I'm going to cut the Griselbrand. Griselbrand, 1 Uro. I think I'm still keeping in the combo in this matchup. Can maybe trim the 4th Gifts. This kind of feels like a disaster to draw too early. Jace seems pretty good. Honestly, Uro feels like our worst card. We could cut the 4th Goryo's Vengeance and the 4th Gifts. Just kind of trim a bit. Because we're definitely mostly a control deck in this matchup. Yeah, Gargaroth is maybe not good. If my opponent plays, if we see a ton of graveyard hate in game 2, we can maybe bring in the Gargaroths for game 3. It's all Brunas and Colossifications, always has been. Hell yeah. This hand's fine. Gonna keep. We have the combo of Swamp and Sunken Ruins. That way, Uro and basic Swamp can, coexist in harmony. Where usually Swamp and Uro are mortal enemies. Yeah, Loam is so good in this deck. Liliana in Modern, what year is it? I think Liliana's pretty good in this deck. So I imagine they're choosing between JVP and Abrupt Decay. They did mold a 6. I think Liliana is not that bad in Modern right now. I think she's okay. Liliana's probably the worst card in the deck. I don't know. I actually kind of like her. But maybe I'm, too old-fashioned. I kind of want to play the 4th Liliana over the 4th Uro. Ooh, what a draw. Well, I'm just going to main phase Decay here. Opponent kept a 1-lander. I would love to just cast Colossification, on like a tapped Uro or a tapped Zombie or Jace Prodigy specifically, and win the game that way. And it might happen. My opponent's stumbling. What is the flavor text? Turns out the case of the flattened outpost and the case of the missing kitten were related. So it's a very cheesy flavor text, but it's also cheesy flavor text on a cheesy card. So I'm liking it. I guess I was supposed to play Delta because I'm going to be fetching a dual land here, and I'm more likely to fetch a basic forest than I am basic swamp down the line, but doesn't really matter much. It's pretty good. I'm going to get I suppose, Overgrown Tomb, so that way I can hold a Veil. And before Colossification gets to 75 cents. I did buy one foil Bruna today, just in case I ended up having a good run and just, people buy out Brunas. So that way I can have a really pretty foil Bruna in the future. But I also don't own any other cards in the deck really, so maybe it was a silly buy. not the wisest buy ever, probably. I think we're casting Colossification post-combat. Wait, is Colossification 7 mana? I thought it was 5. Hold on. This is so bad. This is not correct, but I can't help myself. No, they finds the Vastwood. Oh, I can't believe it. I'm gonna clickbait on Twitter. Things are getting real weird here today on twitch.tv/aspiring spike. Still gonna win the game, I think, very easily. Yeah, everyone said Veil of Summer was the green cryptic command. It was really Vines of the Vastwood. I feel like I'm gonna get Veil to fight Inquisition. So I think I'll start off with a Uro. We can cycle Goryo's Vengeance too. Throw back to when people cast Vines to counter twin. Yeah, that was pretty sick. I'm doing well. Death, how are you doing today? Alright, yeah, we just go removal spell into removal spell and win. What's the best card in Modern? Probably Misty Rainforest. Maybe Scalding Tarn. Fetch lands are the best card for sure, though. Whatever card you end up choosing, it's a fetch land, or you can just say like fetch lands period are the best. Yeah, Vines of the Vastwood does counter Colossification though. We're 2-0-4-0, feeling good. We've killed with Bruna twice this league. 2 more and you guys get your channel points. Snap keep. We have the combo of Goryo's Vengeance plus Uro. I feel like the card Lightning Bolt gets ignored as the best. I feel like Lightning Bolt is not even like in that high of a tier in my opinion. Just like doesn't answer so many threats in the format. My opponent's actually playing the Blood Moon variant. Maybe I want to get like basic Forest here, and then go basic Island and just like ignore Blood Moon. I'm not saying that you should ban fetches. I'm definitely not saying that, and I don't think that you should. I think that banning fetch lands would be a wildly unpopular decision that would kill Modern. I really think it would, unfortunately. At least like with the way the current community perceives them. Like maybe we can change some minds, change the discourse or whatever. But I do think that banning fetch lands would be wildly unpopular and would maybe just kill the format. So I don't think it's the play right now, at least. But yeah, Lightning Bolt just like misses so many things that I don't think Lightning Bolt is like in the conversation for best non-land cards in Modern. It's good. It's like a staple for sure, but I would probably not put it in the top 5 or probably very close to the top 5 even. Interesting. Maybe I've played around Blood Moon too hard. We'll see. I mean, we can, if we just draw a Black Source in like the top 2, we can Uro and then Goryo's Vengeance Uro by a lot of time. Your point is that the format has been shaped in such a way. Oh, that I don't appreciate the power of Bolt. I see. I think I misinterpreted like your phrasing. Do I think it was top 5 pre-Uro? I don't know. Like Bolt goes through phases of being really good and really bad. Castle Garenbrig. Pretty good. But I don't think it's just Uro that makes Bolt worse. Good draw. Maybe we just beat ourselves by not fetching black mana. Seems like to be the case. I mean, I also felt like we were kind of due to draw more lands. Are we just dead on board? This is plus 6 damage. So 6 plus 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, dead on board. If they activate this. Game 2. Entering to stream and seeing Bruna kill count has made my day. Hell yeah. Their deck plays a ton of Relic of Progenitus's, and they have seen that we're a graveyard deck, so I do think we're going to cut the combo. I'm sorry, I know that you guys are trying to get your channel points. We still have 2 more matches, but I would also really like to 5-0 with this deck. Probably going to keep Loam. How's the deck feel? I think this deck is strong. I've been brewing with it like all week. I've been like trying to tune it and find a good version. I don't really want this Thoughtseize, honestly. You know, if Colossification resolves, it's pretty good. Typhoon. You can play 1 Thoughtseize, I guess. Ilmag, thank you for Twitch Prime. Hope you're having a good day today. Good luck, Tug. I'm going to keep this. We have the Gust for Blood Moon, so I don't think we need to... We can just get a Triome, and then our mana is really good. For whatever it's worth, both is consistently the most played card in the format. That's fair. I I know maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Bolt is one of the better cards. But I would rate Monastery Swift Spear above Lightning Bolt in my power level rating for whatever that's worth too. Swift Spear is probably my pick for the best creature. Maybe Uro. It's like Uro, Primeval Titan, Swift Spear seem to be like the pillars of the format. Swift Spear is only as good as the burn spells around it. I think that's fair. Yeah. I mean, obviously this whole conversation, it's kind of pointless. Best is such a bad word for evaluating cards because everything is so contextual. Opponent did mold a 5. Probably just need to play Jace here, let it die. It's 1 for 1 on the mold of 5. We block, right? This is bad against Lava Dart and good against Light Up the Stage. I think it's fine. I think being good against Light Up the Stage on the mold of 5 is where you want to be. Cool. Feels like I made the right call there. I'm going to loot now. Maybe find Uro. Gargaroth is nice. I think I'm discarding Abrupt Decay. Triad is one of the powerhouse creatures. Maybe. Feels like it's like a tier below Titan, though. Triad's very good. Obviously, again, these conversations are always fun, but a bit silly. It's probably worth gusting, right? Get Breeding Pool. Oh no, this is bad because we have put them on Light Up the Stage, and now we've just lost life on our turn. It's actually a pretty big mistake, I think. If they play their land, they're not on Light Up the Stage, so once again, never punished for any line I've ever taken. I guess I'm gonna put back this Gust. Gust is so good here, though. If we need to Gust Blood Moon, we can Jace, so seems fine to put it back. Yeah, Bob was definitely on the decline before Modern Horizons and was pretty close to being unplayable. Also, they played their land before Light Up the Stage. Classic missequencing. Yeah, Bob was definitely on its way out, but was made much worse with Lava Dart, Vryn 6. Maybe we can conceal that we have Elder Gargaroth, but I'm not sure how much value that has. I have no idea how they play around this card. They maybe would our opponent did mold to 5. I mean, maybe they would just mulligan to a more aggressive hand is how they play around Gargaroth, but not sure. Surgical Uro. Okay, well now Gargaroth is off the a secret, and this is why I like Gargaroth so much. They just have they need to bring in all this graveyard hate. Then you just slam this super powerful 5-drop. And then we also have Field of the Dead too. Surgical Extraction seems really bad in their deck. I feel like I usually see them play Relic instead. But I get it, you have to deal with Uro, honestly. Their decks just really cannot beat Uro. Ooh, we hit Radical Idea? That's pretty nice. They're just never beating Garg. Yeah, it's also a free spell for Prowess, that's true. Although this version, the Obosh version, are usually so much grindier. I guess they could have double bolts. Maybe I was supposed to hold the Gargaroth. Seems kind of fine to play it though. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying Surgical is this great answer to Uro, but I think they just have to take the card disadvantage. Their deck cannot beat Resolved Uro, usually. They didn't cast their Lightning Bolts. Okay. I think they're a little flustered, potentially. Cool. Yeah, seeing Surgical Extraction, there's no way I'm, like, bringing the combo back in. Happy New Year, Wrangle. Well, this hand's pretty good if it draws an untapped land in the top 2 cards. Or a 26 land deck, but a lot of those lands are tapped. I think I'm going to keep. I'm going to be a bit greedy. I think this hand has a huge upside just hitting a land in the top 2. No, don't apologize for not knowing how the combo works. So if you Goryo's Vengeance Bruna and you have Colossification in your hand or graveyard, you get to hit with a Bruna. I think I'm going to go Overgrown Tomb Basic Island here. Obviously, we hit immediately. It's even another fetch land. I'm going to get Basic Island so we can Gust of Blood Moon. Is Through the Breach just no good in Modern? I mean, I really like it in the blue-red deck. I played it this week and I thought it was good, but you want Goryo's Vengeance because your plan is to not play a million copies of Bruna and Colossification in your deck. You only have to play one, and if you only play one, you get to you get to tutor them up with gifts, and you have a bunch of different gifts piles that can either be value based or can combo, or put a Griselbrand into play sometimes if you feel like they have a removal spell and you want a Vengeance. But the main piles are Radical Idea, Bruna, Colossification, Goryo's Vengeance, and the other kind of main pile is, hold on, it is just putting Colossification and Bruna in the graveyard, because if you want, you could just put 2 cards in the graveyard with gifts without letting any card go to your hand, the hidden mode. So that's another part of it. How much should a Factor Fishing cost where you split the pick? Are you talking about like Steam Augury or just drawing 5 cards? Or like choosing which cards go to the graveyard? Probably like 6 mana. I mean, 6 mana draw 5 is even above rate, so maybe 7. See, my opponent has Surgical, where you get to pick the split of 5 cards. It would have to be 7 mana, maybe 6 mana at sorcery speed, but to draw 5 cards, it usually costs like 7 mana, and like that is better than drawing 5 cards, I think, because sometimes you want cards in the yard. How about a 3-2 split? Maybe 5 mana then. Alright, so to play this deck, if you can escape Uro, escape Uro. Don't have a land to play. It's fine. Any deck, yeah. That is my least favorite thing about Uro, is that it's like always the play when you can escape Uro. You probably discard Gifts number 3. This is game 2 and we're up a game. I'm sorry, this is game 3. This is game 3. Forgot that we lost game 1 actually. Any room an argument for using Grave Titan instead of Griselbrand? No, because our reanimation spell is Goryo's Vengeance, which can only hit legendary creatures. 5 mana for Obosh? Sure. It's pretty gustable. That does not enter untapped, but it does if we get an island off of Misty here. Probably something we want to do. Snow-covered island. And then we can Gust and then play Jace. And then put Gust back on top with the Sanctuary. Isn't there an enchantment that makes everything legendary? I think there's like a 5 mana artifact or something, but doesn't sound very good to me. Does it sound good to you? Of course, we'll just play the enchantment that makes everything legendary, and then we'll Goryo's Vengeance Grave Titan. Leyline of Singularity. Oh, right, yeah. It's all coming. It's only permanence, though. I don't think it affects cards in the graveyard. But it does sound like everything's coming together. And if they have a bolt, they get to bolt Uro. How about Emrakul the Promised End? I mean, you don't get the cast trigger when you Goryo's Vengeance, so if you Emrakul the Promised End, you're just hitting them for 13. So I don't know why that would be better than what we're doing. Alright. You just did a league with Radical Idea and Esper Gift. That's cool. Yeah, I think the card like really ties the deck together. I was trying to figure out piles recently, and Twitch chat reminded me of Radical Idea a while ago. They shuffled away my Aether Gust. I think what we just get back Misty Field, get a Sunken Hollow, push, and then Liliana Edict. Pretty good turn. Gifts is a lot worse without Uro in the deck, but we can get like the second Field of the Dead and get 2 fields in play with Loam. Maybe get Sandbar too. Kill my Jace, fine. Kill my Liliana, also fine. Kimster's insight clearly superior. It's been right in front of me this whole time. I just couldn't see it. Too blind. Alright, second Field of the Dead. Radical Idea. It's kind of nice. I don't really want to get Gargaroth because just Snap goes to the graveyard. Get Sandbar and maybe there we just have infinite access to fetch lands. Decay, I guess. Let's go into the graveyard though. Happy New Year's. How's the meta been looking today? It's been looking pretty good. Against a lot of like red decks. If we Goryo's our Jace and turns to Planeswalker side, does it still exile? No, it does not. Because it leaves the battlefield first. It's a different permanent. Good question. So yeah, Goryo's plus Jace is pretty nice. And so you can even like turn Goryo's Vengeance into a looting effect if you need that, if you have a Jace in the graveyard, which is nice. Yeah, they're just not... I mean, they could, I guess, draw Blood Moon. Be pretty good. Yeah, I mean, Spyro into, Blood Moon plus Spyros could get them out of this. Alright, never mind. Never mind. Under no circumstances should you mind. Yeah, Goryo plus Obsidian is cool. I tried to see if I could find room for that in this deck, but it was just so many pieces to play 4 Goryos, 4 Jace, 4 Obsidian, or 3 Obsidian even, plus the Bruna package. There's no room for interaction, less room for Uro, less room for Field of the Dead, and I think this is just the better way to build it. Firebolt me, sure. I think I'm gonna Gifts. Not going to be a very good one, but we can get Aether Gust, Jace, Liliana, Gargaroth. Can you Tails into Goryo trigger? You can. Doesn't seem very good to me though. I think we're going to be 3-0. 5-0ing with this deck would be really nice. I was able to play 3 matches a night with this deck, basically every night this week, but I wasn't actually able to finish a full league, because usually Esther would get home from work, and I, of course value spending time with Esther. I guess we could Dredge Loam because I want to play a fetch land this turn. I don't really see a point in getting back 2. I guess getting back 2 fetches is maybe good. So we're going to have to discard a land anyways. Yeah, we should have. I don't know why I didn't, honestly. I think I outthought myself. But the nice thing here is it, of course, doesn't matter even a tiny bit. there's like just no chance we could ever lose this game. Yeah, the Bruna combo has been something I've been thinking a lot about, just like trying to find shells for it with Gifts Ungiven. Specifically, seems good with Gifts because you don't have to play a ton of Brunas and Colossifications in your deck. You just have to play one of each, which is nice. And it's actually felt pretty powerful. I've liked it. I think it's good. All right, we win. We've killed 5 times with it today, and then we have to kill 2 more times with the combo this league in order for the chat to get their channel points back. Let's mulligan this. Maybe we should only be playing 1 Sanctuary. Feels kind of wild to me, but maybe that's good. All right, on the draw, so... and Loam also makes the mulligan a little less impactful. Maybe I could have gotten just Triome here, Triome into Swamp, and then fetch an island, and this Ender's untapped. TSP Gindrick, thanks for the raid, dude. Hope you're having a good day today. Playing a spicy modern brew. It's a Sultai Gifts deck that's playing Goryo's Vengeance and trying to set up Goryo's Vengeance plus Bruna plus Colossification with Gifts. We've got some piles that do that. This is like our 3rd time playing against this red-black mid-range deck this league, and I think the matchup's decent. Let me go ahead and get a basic forest. They do play Blood Moon. I guess Blood Moon would be just really tough here. Could maybe just mill over some basics and loam them back. Oh, awesome. Our Liliana seems a bit better than theirs with this loam. Gotta say. We're just playing Swamp. We milled over Radical Idea. Crazy value. Kind of surprised they plased. Yeah, car alarm going off outside, of course. They discard Kroxa, though we have Liliana to edict it. A Liliana mirror match in 2020. Incredible. Discard Skelemental. They didn't have double red to cast it from their hand. Hits Lonely Sandbar, so let's get Sandbar, fetch land, and then I guess we're just plussing and passing. Oh, sorry, 2021, of course. I forgot. I'm not super into New Year's, honestly. Bloodchief's Thirst pretty good. I'm going to dredge Loam here. Oh, man, they actually just have Liliana and Ultimate. This can help me find a Uro, which we did find. Although we have the basic Swamp, which is also a problem. I think I'm dredging Loam again. We haven't hit a Goryo's Vengeance yet, but we can find Goryo's Vengeance and Mystic Sanctuary at back, potentially. And now we can Mystic Sanctuary next turn back Abrupt Decay, and then Uro into Abrupt Decay. Decay the Liliana. Umazal is redeemed with deck tech. Does it have Jite in it? Do you think you should be playing Gaia's Blessing or Nexus Fate in your Bant Stoneforge deck for mill? You have no way of showing. Do you have Jace the Mind Sculptor for either? Oh, they do Ultimate. Interesting. It's kind of fine. Kind of not, I guess. We're going to keep 3 lands, though, so that probably one of them will be Swamp, though, so we can't escape Uro next turn, and then they get to escape.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Dade, 4 months in a row. Welcome back. Happy New Year to you too. Yeah. Oh, so sorry. This their deck tag is just your question. You don't play Jace in the deck. I see. It's kind of close. I feel like Stoneblade oftentimes... Do you play Mana Dorks? Maybe just send the list. But if you play Mana Dorks, I think getting up to 7 mana for Nexus probably is easier. And if you don't play Mana Dorks, you might just want to play Gaia's Blessing. Certainly an interesting puzzle. Alright, let's see if we draw like a removal spell. It's almost a removal spell. Definitely going to cast it. Still, like, we're like 28 cards in. We haven't seen a Vengeance go to the graveyard for Sanctuary. Oh, awesome. Jeez. It's a pretty good couple of cards, huh?
Welcome, Spikelings, to the
Raging
Shark
Goblin,
Typhoon.
14 months ago. Happy New Year to you, too. Glad that you're still liking the stream. Let's get back. Sandbar, Sanctuary, Triome, I guess. No Field of the Dead in the graveyard either. It's also fine. Exile, Delta, Vista, Delta, Inquisition. No, I think that the 3-card pile made more sense to me, but kind of I see what you're saying at least. There's Goryo's Vengeance and Gifts. Probably just want to get the island into play now because we can Sanctuary next turn. Yeah, I thought that you might like this Life from the Loam card, so deck. I don't know if you've read it before. It's a little pet card of mine, but it's you can return 3 land cards from your graveyard to your hand, and it dredges 3. And in case you don't know, dredge is a mechanic that instead of drawing, you can put the top 3 cards of your library to your graveyard and then put this into your hand. So you can just keep drawing it over and over again. It's like a neat little old mechanic from like the first Ravnica set. Hasn't seen like a lot of constructed play or anything. We just have to cut the combo. They're going to bring in so much graveyard hate. Like this, the plan is to bring in the Gargaroths. I feel bad though because of the Channel Point thing. But we still have one more match to get 2 Bruna kills. It's just like the plan of this matchup is to cut the Vengeance combo. I really want to 5-0 with the deck. I'm sorry. We still have a chance to get it. I think Gust is pretty good against them too. Usually trim and Gifts when I cut the combo. The Gifts is pretty good against them. We cut the Thoughtseizes too. I feel like we can leave in the Inquisition. Maybe just do play 4 Gifts if we don't want any Thoughtseize. Let's look at the mana curve. Seems pretty good. Don't think I want the Raven's Crime. Don't think I want the Bloodchief's Thirst. Yeah, I think the 5-0 is really important. Like a 5-0 with the brew is always good for the stream, you know. Keep this hand. Probably put back Sanctuary. Approximately, what do you think is the percentage of games you play perfectly? I don't know. You know, you usually will think that you play more games perfectly than you actually do because, you know, usually when you make a mistake, there's like a line you didn't see, and so it's hard to like know that you made a mistake unless you have 400 people yelling at you, which usually helps some amount. I think I'm gonna get the Triome and hope they don't have Blood Moon. Unchecked Dark Confidant in 2020. Wow. If they play Blood Moon, I guess we get swamped because then we have 3 Decays. Oh, I guess we want Island because we have 4 Aether Gust, actually. We also have this Gifts. Sorry, I keep saying 2020. I just stuck in the past. 2021. It's fine, I guess. The card's like actually very good against us because we're Gifts. Yeah, I was supposed to get Black Source for Liliana. Okay, fine. Ashiok wins every game it's played in. As always. Can they please finally ban Ashiok any day now? Yeah, count that towards the percentage of games I do not play perfectly, I guess. I like this hand a lot, though. This hand's like plays around Blood Moon really well. Has a really good curve. Inquisition into Tarmogoyf into Liliana. And they have the Blood Moon, we get to play around it. I think I'm taking Seasoned Pyromancer. Like, we've cited in a way that Spellbomb doesn't matter as much against us, and if they spend their second turn playing Bob, we just Edict it with Liliana. Maybe it was the Spellbomb. Maybe I'm overvaluing our sideboard plan, but I think I feel fine about it. I'm gonna wait on the loot. And his Vista, Blood Moon, 2 mystery cards. Going to be a 3rd mystery card in a second. I guess Gargaroth's maybe hard to cast, but you got 2 Planeswalkers and all of our colors at least. And lots of answers to Blood Moon. We have 3 Decays and 4 Gusts. Make them think maybe I have Force in my deck. I'm just going to discard Uro. It's not doing very much in my hand. And then I probably want to plus Liliana before I Jace, and I think I'll just discard the Gargaroth when I'm pretty far away from casting it. And I'll probably flashback Inquisition as well. Discard Misty? Maybe Sunken Ruins. See if they want to crack their Spellbomb here. It's fine if they do, I think. They decide not to. Alright, their hand is just a Blood Crypt. They have a Spellbomb, though, to draw a card, maybe. They probably should crack their Spellbomb if they brick. See, it looks like they did not brick. They instead drew a Spyro. Gross. Although we can attack their hand a bit with Liliana. Gives us a nice draw. Kind of. Might just discard Fatal Push. Might just cast the Gifts now. So we can Gifts for a pile that's like Abrupt Decay, Aether Gust. I guess we don't have a 3rd way to kill the Blood Moon, which is maybe a deck building mistake. We could get Abrupt Decay, Aether Gust, Forest Island. Kind of like that. So I want to do that. I want to discard, I think, before they have that information. For a second Gargaroth, I don't think so. I think the Gargaroth just always goes to the graveyard, and we only have 2 more in the deck, and they seem pretty important. They discarded Skelemental, which is a pretty good spell here. I'm not. I think a single Snapcaster might be good. I don't remember like gifting for it very often. But maybe you would end up gifting for it kind of often. I don't remember. Yeah, their last card is also like just definitely gas, which stinks. Spyro into 2 really good cards. Not sure why the moon is a priority. Why I have each basic out. Can you share some insight? Yeah, we can't cast like a lot of our cards because they have double pips. And it's also like what I maybe suggest a better gifts pile, but this gives us out to cast Gargaroth, to escape Uro, really make the Blood Moon not matter so much. And then with a Nihil Spellbomb, also like we don't have too many like amazing gifts piles. What happened to my forest? I mean this one, or one's in my hand, one's in play. Well, if they don't give you the Gargaroth, then you get the cards to kill the Moon Spyro. Yeah, I think that's not as good. Maybe I'm wrong. Is this what they kept over Skelemental? I don't think so, but maybe. They have another 6/1 in hand. Maybe. That would make sense. If they Skelemental attack Jace, we can push the Spyro, which doesn't really matter that much, but we can do it. Weird. Right, they're not sacking their Spell Bomb when they have 0 cards in their hand, and I don't think that's something I necessarily agree with, although we do have this Jace for that to potentially flash back on. And they got super rewarded for it, so what do I know? They may crack at end of turn. Maybe I'm supposed to hold the field, the trigger field. Would love for them to crack the Spell Bomb. It's kind of funny they drew Spell Bomb, redraw Gifts, and like that's kind of the dynamic of the matchup in a lot of ways. We could do something like get Gargaroth, Decay, Gust, something else. Oh, cool. This might mean that they drew another Spell Bomb for turn. 3 mana, 4 mana, Skelemental plus floating a black. It's kind of interesting. So I think we get to escape Uro next turn. We'll see if they attack Jace or me with the Skelly. They attack me with Skelly. Alright, so I think we're getting Gargaroth, Gust, Decay, Uro. And then if they give me Uro, Gargaroth, I'll just discard the Fatal Push. But they probably have to graveyard Decay, Decay, Gust. And then we can slam Gargaroth and we have an Uro with like a lot of cards in the graveyard that will be able to escape in a couple of turns. Do they play Thunderkin Awakener? Most lists do not. Of the like this red-black deck, but you know, I think a lot of people are trying different things here. They did give me the Gust, so now I will Gust their Blood Moon and Fatal Push a token and just discard the Uro, then escape Uro. It's a land for field. We do have to exile all of these really good cards. I guess that's not true. We can Gifts Ungiven with Jace first. Seems better. We can Gifts plus Uro, right? Yes, now that we've drawn the land, we can. Pretty cool. And let's conceal the fact that we can do so by not playing the Breeding Pool first. So we can get second Field of the Dead, Aether Gust Decay, Loam maybe, another Gifts maybe. Another Gift sounds kind of good. We didn't punish the floating black because Gust puts on top. Hold on, I think I heard something. Must be imagining things. Where's the theme? They're still tanking on the Gifts decision. Seems a pretty tough one. Yeah, they're definitely like hoping that I don't have land here, which is why I like holding the land. And then we get to leave probably Decay in the yard to deal with the moon that they put on top. I'm assuming they put it on top, right? And then it's just game over. Oh, we can't actually minus Jace next turn. It's fair, I guess. Still in excellent shape. Cast your Blood Moon, opponent. We could maybe just Gifts for... I guess sorry, the fields are Blood Mooned. Let's see. Maybe a tricky gifts pile, but we're really ahead, so I don't think we need to tank too hard. Maybe we can get like Jace, Gargaroth, Gust, Veil of Summer. Seems pretty good to me. Like, they can't give us Gust, they can't give us Gargaroth, so they give us Veil plus Jace. Then Jace can flash back Decay next turn. Sandbar. Sandbar is interesting. I think this is better. Because I like that the Veil can protect Jace in a lot of scenarios. Yeah, I don't have any cryptic commands in this deck. We're like a Thoughtseize Liliana deck instead. But I have played versions of Sultai Gifts with cryptics in the past, and I think it's better when you're like doing like a straight value plan. But when you have like the Goryo's Vengeance plan that we have, I like this a bit more. I brought in Cryptic from the side. Cryptic Command is not in this deck, so unless there's like another Cryptic card that I'm not thinking of, you're mistaken. Our opponent is dead. Veil. I was mistaken. That was me that was mistaken the whole time. I guess we decay the... We'll gust the token. We're gonna gust the token! No, let me gust the token, please. Please let me gust the token. I think we're getting some concession lag. Oh, no. Do we 5-0 yet? We're playing for 5-0 now. Ask opponent to split. Nah. Alright, so what are we putting back here? Against Obosh, probably the Liliana. Obosh is not very good against the... Or Lily's not very good against Obosh. How boring would... It would also be like pretty boring to ask for a split while I'm streaming, you know? Can you imagine if I did that every time I was 4-0? Okay, you would have split, you know? Hopefully no light at the stage. Cool. You've been messing with the Zerda deck? I like Zerda. I've done some brewing with Zerda in Modern. Liliana comes back to us. We cast Colossification today on Uro, and my opponent cast Vines with the Vastwood to counter it. It's awesome. They don't have Blood Moon. It's pretty good for us because they're on Seasoned Pyromancer. Just put Obosh into their hand. It's the best case scenario. Alright, get a Swamp, I guess. Play around Blood Moon a bit, maybe. Just them top decking it, of course. They clearly don't have it in hand. We should be able to escape Uro next turn, even with the Swamp. So just get Breeding Pool, Basic Island. Can this deck deal with aggro properly? Yeah, we're like this is like our 4th aggro matchup this league, and we're an Uro Fatal Push Abrupt Decay deck. Like we have a lot of game against these red decks. Opponent's hand is Obosh, 2 mystery cards. And you can also just like kill him. You just kill him on turn 5 after casting Gifts. Has happened a few times. Might happen this game. Hopefully happens this game. I'm gonna leave that basic in the graveyard, I think. Oh, I want to leave Field of the Dead too. So I guess we have to exile the basic. Yeah, just leaving Field in the yard. It's probably good. So we can win over the course of 2 turns by gifting for Bruna, Colossification, Goryo's Vengeance, and Radical Idea. opponent may concede before that happens, though. So, and we can't do it in one turn. I guess we need to play another land first. Oh, we also don't have actually a land for... We don't have a Mystic Sanctuary. We need a Mystic Sanctuary. Although we can just probably get one off of Loam here. There's a Misty Rainforest for Sanctuary. So I guess... Sorry, it's kind of a headache where... I guess we just do this. It's probably better even to just make more zombies this turn and play Uro again. But with the Goryo's Vengeance in the graveyard, I think we can still combo off next turn. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe we can combo off next turn with this amount of mana. We'll figure it out when we get there. Colossification being in the hand does not stop the combo. This may be good to draw, we'll see. Is a second swap necessary to play? Maybe not. Yeah, they could. I mean, they only have 3 cards. They would have to have, like, Lava Dart into light up the stage. It would have to be a pretty sick combination of cards to kill us. How do you cast Goryo from grave? So we can Life from the Loam to get Misty Rainforest to get Mystic Sanctuary to put Goryo's Vengeance on top. And we can also, first we'll Gifts for Lonely Sandbar. Lonely Sandbar, Bruna. Yeah, we put Lonely Sandbar, Bruna in the graveyard with Gifts. And then we Loam and we win. I don't think I did a very good job articulating. One more time. We're going to cast Gifts Ungiven for Bruna, Lonely Sandbar, Life from the Loam back, Lonely Sandbar, and Misty Rainforest. And then we will Misty Rainforest to put Goryo's Vengeance on top, cycle Lonely Sandbar into Goryo's Vengeance, the Bruna that we put in the graveyard, and put the Colossification into play from our hand. So this is a win. Kind of wonky, though. Oh yeah, if they had the Bolt, they actually stopped the Bruna, but like, who would ever play around this? It's like so unreasonable to play around this. Do not dredge Loam. Bruna kill count 6, and one more Bruna kill. This league, you guys get your channel points. Maybe I'll leave it in. I'm not committing to leaving it in yet. Can't the opponent just let you have Bruna? No, if you Gifts Ungiven and only get 2 cards, both cards have to go to the graveyard. Which is why we only got those 2 cards. Man, it's just like... I want to 5-0 really badly. And I also want to give you guys the outs to get your channel points back. I think I'm going to keep it in. I'm going to keep it in the combo. But I may trim on like some Goryo's Vengeance. I'm going to be the man of the people. Give you guys a chance to get your channel points. This looks like a fine plan to me. Obosh doubles the damage on bolts, so if they had left with the bolt, they can bolt the Bruna. This deck actually cannot hardcast Bruna, although the last time we tried to brew this together, we were playing straight Esper and could. But this deck is way better. I actually think it's like a really good example, if you guys remember that stream where we brewed the Esper version of this deck up live on stream, how it was okay. I think we went 3-2. But it didn't seem like super powerful. But it's a good example of my like usual process where I'll try a lot of different versions of an idea before I actually stream. And I've spent like a lot of time this week brewing. It's a pretty good example of that process. Let's keep this and put back gifts. Just keep all like cheap interaction and Uro is usually quite good. And then, man, basic swamp plus Uro is a bit of a nombo. We have Gust for Blood Moon, so I'm gonna get Watery Grave and Thirst. This deck couldn't cast Bruna. Yeah, the other deck couldn't cast Colossification. That's true. And we did hard cast Colossification today, and it got the Vines of the Vast Wooded, which was bad. Jeez, Lewis. So good. I think we're gonna go Gust into Uro plus push next turn. You came up with this list? Yeah, I've been so like it all started like last week. I was just thinking about Goryo's Vengeance plus Bruna plus Colossification. And then last week during the stream, we put together an Esper Gifts Ungiven list and we figured out the radical idea pile. And I have transitioned to kind of combine this with like my old Sultai Gifts deck that I played a lot of on stream. This is certainly very much inspired from that deck, as I'm sure a lot of people can tell. There's just like this deck is kind of a combination of a lot of different ideas I've had, and it's a good example also of how different brews, can lead to new ideas and new brews. If they play Blood Moon, I'm going to really want to get Basic Swamp, but Basic Swamp does not let me escape Uro. So I think I can just wait. I don't think I need to push the Swift Spear right now. They put their Swift Spear on top with the Gust. Surgical my Uro. Oh my gosh. Goryo's Vengeance can protect your Uro from surgical extraction. It's kind of awesome. Not that we had the mana up. They did put this Whisper on top. So I don't have Uros in my deck anymore, but I do have Gargaroth. So like maybe I could get a Triome, and that way I have a third island for Mystic Sanctuary, and I have a second green for Gargaroths. Well, I mean, they could be playing around Force of Negation by Surgicaling now. I think that's kind of reasonable. Yeah, this is the second time we've seen Surgical over Relic. I mean, that's maybe just what Im Hayashi is doing right now, and, Im Hayashi is the king of these mono red Obosh players. It's always the last card. Hayashi took a break. I thought I saw Hayashi like post recently, but could be misremembering. We have two pushes for their two Swift Spears, but gotta draw some action or we're dead, and we don't have any Uros, which are a big part of our action, of course. But the bright side here is like I don't think we're gonna win. Oh, actually that's not true. If we just draw Gifts Ungiven, we win with the combo. So, oh man, just like against the Surgical Extraction deck, you really don't want to have the combo either. Oh, man. But I'll leave it in. I'll leave it in for game 3 if we go to game 3. Am I the king of something too? No, absolutely not. Oof. Well, we're 1 mana short of killing immediately if we draw Gifts Ungiven, because you need to, cast both Gifts and Vengeance. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, if we had drawn this last turn, then you guys would get your channel points if we had just drawn this last turn. Dude, leaving in the Bruna combo against the opponent who boarded in Surgical is like so loose, but I really want to get you guys your channel points, so I'm going to leave it in. And I'm going to submit. I think. Maybe I'll play a Duress over like the third Jace. Jace is so bad. Please cut Bruna. Nah. Play the best version of the deck. I'm gonna not, but I appreciate the feedback. I'm going to not play the best version of the deck, thank you. How do you cut Lily versus red deck? She's not very good against Seasoned Pyromancer. They have a lot of good cards to discard. Liliana's like not good against them, I think. She's okay. Liliana's like fine against Burn and like much worse against... Like this is like probably the worst red deck for Liliana, honestly. So hopefully we can mill over Uro and have them not have Surgical. Maybe I won't dredge Loam, actually. Hey Zer, glad that you're liking the stream. Thanks for popping in. And awesome. Kind of want to just hold up Gust this turn, though. Then we can go Uro into Gust. Pretty scared of getting my Uro Surgical. Maybe we can draw Goryo's Vengeance to protect it. Okay, they're not Blood Mooning here, so I'm going to Gust a Swift Spear. One Lazav or fourth Jace. No thanks. But you are free to include a Lazav over a Jace if you play this deck. I will not burst through your walls and stop you. We can Colossification a token. Be pretty cool. Maybe I want to get basics here. We can get basic swamp, basic forest. Yeah, I think if they have Surgical for Uro, we're going to be in bad shape if we don't, draw really well. Sanctuary is not a good draw. Did I want him to exile the Spear under Bomat? Them, and yeah, I did. No Surgical, no Surgical, no Surgical, please. Just let me escape Uro and cast Colossification on a zombie token. I think we're 5-0ing if they don't have Surgical. They sack their Bomat looking for it. That's super exciting. They discard Spyro, Blood Moon, Spyro. They did not draw the Surgical, though. I will dredge Loam. Wow. Crazy game. So we can Mystic Sanctuary, back Gifts next turn, and set up for the combo. That's what we're going to play too. Yeah, I'm going to try to get the best of both worlds. I'm going to try to get the combo plus get the 5-0. Although, honestly, at this point, it seems pretty easy to do that. But is our opponent going to concede first? If our opponent concedes to us like being able to do it, I think I'll give you guys the channel points. Obviously depends. Like if they concede right now, I don't think it counts. But if they concede to me like getting back Mystic Sanctuary, ask for them to play it out. I think that's rude to do. I think it's rude to ask your opponent to like let you kill them, so I don't do that kind of as a rule. Yeah, they conceded. Tough. Very close to getting you guys your channel points. I tried. No, we did play a land last turn, I believe. Very close. Very close. But we did 5-0, which is